Hey everyone, Cynics here, and I'm going to be trying something a little fun. We have a Third Strike Street Fighter Online Edition contest going on. I think there's only one day left. Sadly, I kind of forgot about it, so you probably won't get a chance to do anything if you haven't started. But it's basically this Finish Me art contest, and the idea is that you're supposed to take one of these art assets that was made by ArtGerm on DeviantArt, or you probably know him. You might know him as Stan Lau. I'm probably butchering his name, but yeah, Stan Lau, ArtGerm. He made these kind of portraits of each of the characters, and they don't have a background. They're just on transparent. So the idea is to finish them in some way. They recommend maybe adding a background or maybe collaging them into a poster, just anything you want to make it into a more finished piece of art, and that's the contest. And there's a chance to win a free copy of Third Strike and good stuff like that. So I thought I'd show you what I've been messing with today since I've just noticed this. Let me hop into Painter. Okay, here we go. Here's the Ibuki art. And let's see, I actually cropped it, which probably isn't allowed, but I just wanted to make a fun little wallpaper for starters. So I cropped it down to focus on the main facial area and kind of the interesting part of the image. So let me just get a good image here. And this is how it started. Obviously, here's the artwork, and there was a transparent background for the purposes of Painter. It's just a white background. But for starters, I already did this one, so I'm just going to show you some of the stuff I did. I kind of did it on separate layers just so I could come back and kind of show you guys some of the stuff. So let me zoom in a little more on the face because I actually did some painting over on this one. Just for fun. Obviously, ArtGerm's a really good artist, but I wanted to bring some of my own flair to this. And aside from his great line work and stuff, it looks like he went pretty monochromatic on the skin tones. You can see it's pretty much. I noticed that on actually all the characters. There's pretty much always just this pretty monochromatic coloring scheme. There's not much color variation and stuff like that. So for fun, I tried to bring in some color variations kind of on the facial areas, trying to punch up the eyes a little bit with a little pink in the innerness and redness and stuff like that, a little redness on the nose, so you can see that off and on, a little redness on the cheeks, and kind of just tried to get rid of some of the lines that were like sticking out a bit, stuff like that. So, let's see this layer. I just added some more redness on like the elbows and stuff. You can't see the other one right here, but I'll show you it later. Once again, more refining. I just kind of cleaned up some of the lines because some of them were a bit messy. I definitely fixed the ear because the ear didn't actually really have any proper shading or anything. So I went in there, added some to that. Oh, I noticed this part in the headbands or the head wrap in that it was lighter, and the actual character Ibuki, she doesn't. There's no separation in color here, so I was wondering if that was just a mistake on his part that he just didn't notice, or if he was trying to make it look like it was wrapped or something. But that doesn't really make sense because there's no transition, and so I think that was just a mistake that he just kind of overlooked. So I cleaned that up and made it match. That looks more like the actual character. I also did some stuff. Let me show you. Oops. Like on the hands and stuff. A little bit of texturing on this arm guard and some like little scratches on her arm and random stuff like that just to kind of give it more detail at high resolution. So let me zoom back out and scroll down. So that's kind of what I changed. Let me go back over again. Got rid of all this stuff. Ooh, ooh. So yeah, you can see added more details, cleaned stuff up, stuff like that. Okay, so obviously that's kind of not that much. So because I just wanted to make this one a wallpaper, I decided to kind of go in and add some greenish tones to the background because she's kind of a ninja. And when I think of her, I think of like foresty stuff and trees, and she has a pet raccoon. I was thinking about throwing that in, but I decided to just kind of go with a kind of greenish, naturey type vibe for a simple background. So I put in some flat green, brought in some bluish tones on the bottom just to kind of diversify the greenness and mix it up a little bit, a little hue variation. Um, and let's see, finally, here's the final take on it. And you can see I kind of went into Photoshop and I added these weird, just ornate designs. I was actually just using the custom shape tool and I added some circles and then did some tricks to get some lines around the circles and kind of used their custom shape in their kind of naturey type designs to make all these little flourishes and stuff like that. So there you can see that's my final little design wallpaper. Wallpaper. Can't talk right now for Ibuki. There you can go. That's the full thing. It's just kind of a wallpaper, a nice little wallpaper. I'll probably just put that up on Shoryuken or something in my little art section just for fun for people to download. Oh, I also let's see. Yeah, I also kind of gradiented out her hair a little bit just to pop it into the background versus her arm. So it kind of puts some depth in between the two because this ponytail is on the back of her head, so I wanted to pop it back there. Anyway, let's see what else we got. There's actually some other stuff I've been trying to do. So there's also one for Makoto. You can see here, I think I actually already color adjusted it a little bit. I made it a little bluer. But for this one, I tried just painting in a loose background. You can see I'm still kind of messing with this one. But I drew this kind of doorway thing, and that was kind of the first thing I did. I did some darkness around it. And then I think I had it way down here, but I realized if you look at her feet, there's kind of that's kind of the hard thing about working with someone's art. You have to kind of figure out where their perspective was and stuff like that. Usually the best way to do that is to look at their feet and see like what you're looking at. So obviously her foot's on the ground. This foot is supposed to be flat, I think. Hopefully, yeah, I think it's supposed to be flat on the ground. So that kind of puts the perspective lines going back. And I would say the horizon is way back over here, so I can put my doorway up in this corner instead of down here or anywhere else. The horizon's way up here, I think. So I tried just kind of making a thing that makes it look like she's in a dojo, because it's Makoto this time, and she's kind of hardworking and likes to work out in the dojo, and very much kind of a tomboy and hardworking on martial arts and stuff like that. So the thing is, actually, the shadows added a lot because I kind of drew this background and it didn't really mesh well with her at all. I added these dark shadows coming off her feet on the background and that kind of gelled her with that. But she's still very light on with the basic coloring scheme, so I decided to darken it up a bit here. And that's where I left off. And I actually have this dark layer on a separate layer. So what I can do if I wanted, and I might experiment with this a bit, is I can take an eraser onto this layer and just erase stuff out and make it look like there's some kind of strong lighting scheme going on. And I can't really see what I'm doing from this resolution because I have it zoomed out so much for the sake of the video. But let's just say something like this, and maybe there's like some like hints, maybe there's like slats of lighting or something, so that would let me really show some form and stuff like that. I don't know, I'll have to experiment with this a bit more because there's a lot of interesting things I might be able to do just with kind of showing off different lighting schemes and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, like something like this could definitely be fun. Maybe some lightness there. And you can see how I'm just kind of doing a bunch of lighting just by using my eraser to erase stuff out. So it's kind of fun. Oh. I probably shouldn't work too much because I'm going to have to erase all these. Or I could leave it in. Who knows? I guess you'll find out later on and when I post a final piece. But stuff like this, you can see. That's close enough. Okay, so there, that gives you some idea. Obviously, it's not perfect, but just for the sake of this demonstration, it's kind of a fun little thing to do. Even some on there. And you can see that doing something like that really gelled it with the piece. Obviously, it would gel it a lot more if I actually went in and put in the shading on the ground to match. Where's my pen? Here's my pen. So obviously I'd have to match it up and stuff, but like whatever, say there was like a stripe shading that matched up with what you're seeing, and who knows, yeah, something like that, and that would really gel it with the piece, and that might be interesting. So I'll probably experiment a little bit with that. And that's also a trick you can do to get some interesting lighting schemes, is to have a separate layer that has a darker scheme, and then you just erase out the lighting. Okay, obviously I'm doing all of this live, so I have to try to keep my wits about me and remember what I'm doing. And here's a final one that I might work on, and obviously it started out with just Yoon here, and there's also Yang, so I tried to make it look like a little collage with both characters. Yoon in the front, Yang. I had to actually shrink Yang down a little bit because he was kind of bigger than Yoon, and I wanted to place him behind. So obviously he had to be shrunk down a little bit, just a tiny bit, and his foot obviously has to be placed back behind the layer, so you can see it kind of, oops, there we go. You can see this has to be in front of this, because obviously his foot has to be behind him in order for him to be standing behind. So basic stuff like that, and he should be shorter because I think they're twins, and since he's behind, he obviously has to be slightly shorter, and stuff like that. So I don't know what I'll do for this one. I think I might try to do something with maybe a blue sky or something, maybe bring in some blue. Where's my blue? There it is. Maybe not that much, maybe lighter. Yeah, I don't really know yet, but I'll probably have some fun with it, and I'll probably have to figure out where their horizon line's going to be too, because you may notice, if you can see, I don't know if you can see with the resolution, but I can actually see the bottom of his foot here. Which kind of would mean that the perspective, I'm sorry, which would mean that the horizon line is actually quite low. Like, in order to be able to see the bottom of his foot like that, I think maybe this foot, there's a little bit that you can't see. So maybe the horizon was like right here when he was making this piece. And obviously for this one, the foot's a bit topped. Oh, I don't know what the right word is, but you can see a bit of the top of the foot. So obviously their horizon's back a little bit. Probably not too far though. So hopefully I could do something that looks correct. I might have to mess with his foot a little bit just to make it look right. But yeah, who knows? Something. I'll probably have their horizon somewhere down low and do something with them. Maybe do something with their background. They have their background that has, what does it have? Like the kind of eating food kitchen area type stuff. I don't know. I can never tell what their third strike level was actually supposed to be. I've kind of examined it a bit more for the sake of this, and it looks like they're fighting on top of, I would say, a row of food vendors, like an aisle, like a food court type area, and they're like on the roofs, and there's people like just below them, like down here. But yeah, I'll have to figure that out. So who knows what I'll do for this. I might do some random clouds and stuff and have some nice little environments and etc. And it'll be fun. Who knows? Maybe some details and stuff. But yeah, that's it for the video. I hope this was in some way entertaining. I was just kind of giving you a behind the scenes look of what I mess around with, and on a daily basis I'm always doing something dumb or something or other. So anyway, that's it for now, and I'll probably get back to doing some more painting faces and whatnot, and thanks for watching.